So, anyway, today, lads, we're going to be talking about something, and it's again something that I think in these situations in isolation, if these were isolated incidents, I think it's probably best to ignore them. The problem is, though, it is a prevailing thing that is not. I wouldn't even say it's happened so often that you can no longer say, oh, it's just a narrative that people should be trying to push or not push. And I'm like, it's happened so often that it's hard to call it a narrative and not call it exactly what it is, an issue, a problem. And it's the WNBA, just everything surrounding it, including the media, is just hypocrisy. Before we get on to that, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to hit 40,050 subscribers by the end of the day. But anyway, we got to talk about it, because I think it is an important topic. Do I think it's the most important topic in the world to talk about? No. But as I've said in plenty of other videos, that the sooner this stops, the better it's going to be long-term for the entire league. The better it's going to be long-term. The sooner it gets to the stage where it's like, okay, let's just worry about growing the league. However the league is organically growing, let's see how it's organically growing and let's push that. And not try to force things down people's throat, and not just show some of the most blatant hypocrisy as a league, as a players association, as just everything, because all they've done is they have given credit to the people that hate the league just to hate on the league. Because as much as I hate to say it, if this was anyone but Caitlin Clark winning these awards, they wouldn't care. And it's funny, like, I'm looking at the Reddit page for WNBA and I'm like, it just sums it up. So somebody posted this, and there was a discussion, and they were like, this thread is being locked due to multiple violations of the community rule and being respectful and inclusive content. Discussion should focus on basketball-related topics and remain respectful of all individuals, whether players, team staff, or community members. Personal attacks, demeaning commentary, or divisive language to detract from productive conversation. There is an entire hate thread on me in this, by the way. There is if you type in, let me just type in my name, Mick. Search for Mick in r/WNBA. Who are the worst content creators in the W? I gotta go with Mick. And it is a literal hate thread. Mick's making 3 videos long this thread. I mean, I didn't, but I'll make it there. I'm like, there's no issue with that. No issue with that. But, you know, a conversation about the owner is now, oh, we're respectful and inclusive. No. Just like the WNBA, anything surrounding the WNBA is only there when it wants to be. There's a thread about the WNBA is only an activist when it wants to be. And it's basically about how what's going on with Caitlin Clark, they're just not saying anything. The only activism I've seen is from players, front office, respect for Lexi Brown. Disappointing. Gilbert Arenas dismissed comments as she wanted to be invited to the cookout. Like, Gilbert Arenas basically just said, oh, she's pandering. And I wish Aja would speak up and people, but I don't expect it. I don't think Aja has to speak up, but I do think she has to, because she demanded Caitlin Clark speak up. I don't think that any player in the WNBA should... There's only 2 situations a player should speak up. Realistically, speak out about this type of stuff, because I think ignoring it is the best way for it to stop. But there's only 2 situations. If you are... if you want to speak out on something, if you want to speak up, if you want to try stop something, even though it won't do anything, it's just for your own peace of mind, it'll make you feel better about a situation, trying to put out the flames. If that is if that is your choice, then be my guest, speak up as much as you want. Again, a league should never be an activist league, but if a player in any league wants to be an activist, they should be an activist. I will never tell somebody not to do what they not to speak their mind. Realistically, if they want to. If they don't want to, great. I don't care. Or if you were one of the people that demanded Caitlin Clark speak out. If you were one of those people that demanded it. So Aja Wilson, she has to defend Caitlin Clark, because she demanded Caitlin Clark speak out about all the internet trolls. Because now the trolls have turned on her. You don't feed the trolls. Caitlin Clark fed the trolls. And look, I don't think she's seeing the trolls that much. I don't think she's looking at social media. I don't think she's probably heard about what the Mystics owner said. She probably has heard about it, but her ability to block stuff out is incredible. So I don't think her feeding the trolls is like really going to affect her. But Caitlin Clark fed the trolls and the trolls turned on her. Like, there was never going to be any other outcome from that situation. Like, if you feed the trolls, they multiply. Like, don't let the trolls get even the slightest thing, because they'll multiply. And that's the reality of the situation. But for me, I think there's huge hypocrisy, because the people that were loudest about Caitlin Clark needing to speak out, yeah, they'll comment on the Instagram post. They'll comment, positive things on her Instagram post. But when they're demanding that she speak out about people attacking, or people saying negative things about whether it be the league or individual players in her name, none of these players will be. By the way, the amount of people that have said negative stuff to Caitlin Clark in the name of Angel Reese, in the name of Angel Wilson. Heck, I've gotten death threats from Aces fans. Like, it's not something that these players are responsible for. It's not something that Age is responsible for. It's not something that Angel's responsible for. And I'm not going to even put Angel in this, because I don't think Angel demanded Caitlin Clark or implied Caitlin Clark needs to speak out about this type of stuff. But if you're one of these players that has basically demanded that, then you should be the loudest people trying to defend Caitlin Clark in this situation. Dejanay Carrington, I need you to defend her, because, otherwise it's just complete hypocrisy. But the reality of the situation is that it is hypocrisy. This league just has a hypocrisy problem. Everything from it, like even the Seattle Storm investigation, even if it came to nothing, by the way, even though it came to nothing, the WNBPA, once the complaint was filed, should have literally just come out with a statement of, we've been made aware of a complaint, we take accusations of bullying in the workplace extremely seriously. There is an independent investigator, and before making any other comment, we're letting them do their job before making their comment. Obviously, I'm just thinking it off the top of my head. I'll obviously make it more official. But no, they just said no comment. They'll comment on everything, but then something might negatively affect them or a member of the IT crew, the club, and it's crickets. Even if it is nothing, even if genuinely if it is nothing, like you have had an owner accuse a player of not deserving an award, and that the fact that they only got it because of their race, and you better believe if Aja Wilson won the award, there'd be nothing. If Aja Wilson won the award and a WNBA owner said, heck, they literally got an owner fired because, was it not something to do with their just because of political views they got an owner fired? Maybe there's more to it than that. I don't know. I could be wrong. But like, if for example, somebody literally said, Aja Wilson only won that award because of, they wanted to pander to her. You better believe if an owner said that, which is as much of an equivalent, by the way, people being like, Aja had a better year. How? Her team won one more playoff series than Caitlin Clark's team. After coming off a championship, 35-win regular season and championship, they won like 10 less games than they did last year. They lost in the second round of the playoffs in comfortable fashion. She was, up until the final, she wasn't the MVP of the Olympics. And again, it was Team USA. They almost lost the Olympics with her playing. And Caitlin Clark also won the craziest college runs ever, where she became the leading scorer all time in college this year. So, like, she just didn't have a better year than Caitlin Clark. All in all, she had a better WNBA season, but, like, she didn't have a better year. But you better believe that if another owner said the only reason Aja Wilson won that was due to insert non-basketball reason here, and that actually, it's pushing Aja Wilson to the face of the NBA is unfair because it'll hurt all the other players' feelings, that owner would have been forced to sell their team already. Even if it was only 6 hours ago, the whole WNBA would have said we're going on strike until that owner's fired. And that's the truth. But the reality is nothing will be said about the Mystics owner because there is hypocrisy. Bullying is not tolerated. Making comments about people based on their race is not tolerated unless it's against Caitlin Clark. And like, that's the reality of the situation. None of this is tolerated unless it's against Caitlin Clark. And if it's against Caitlin Clark because we don't like her, you can say and do whatever you want. And that's the reality of the situation. There is a huge hypocrisy problem. And look, I'll say this. I'll make this statement. There is not one player that is responsible for online fans and online trolls. But if you have demanded that a player be responsible for them, when those players turn on a different player, a player that you mightn't like, that you have been blaming the whole time, partially because of when those trolls turn on someone, partially because of their own words, and partially because of the words of the likes of Aja. Like, you better believe Aja Wilson, this whole she's only good because she's white starts and ends with Aja Wilson. Like, she was the one who said it before she even dribbled the ball. Like, she was the one who sent an angry mob towards her because she pretended she didn't have a shoe deal. Bit of food for thought there.